Here we're going to look at properties of real numbers. And when they ask you about these and you have the drop-down list, and I'm not really big on if you have to memorize the names of them, but you know how to use them. Some of them are stuff you already know and you just take for granted, but when you have the drop-down list, it makes it look like there's more choices than there are. There's really these 4 properties, and then you can do commutative, associative, identity, and inverse. There's a property for addition and multiplication for each. So really it's better to decide what's going on. Is this commutative or associative or identity? And then if it's addition is your operation, it's addition. And if it's multiplication, it's multiplication. Distributive is the only one that has a little bit of both. So commutative just means that you can change the order. And so if I put something like 2 plus 3, that's the same as 3 plus 2. And I know that, I kind of take it for granted. If I do 2, they're both 5. Associative means that if you're adding, we're really doing an operation on a couple different numbers at the same time. Let's see how it's all additions. There's no order of operations. You can associate different ones together first. If I do 3 plus 5, I get 8, plus 2 gives me 10. On this side, let's say I add these 2 first. I get 5 and 5, which also gives me 10. It doesn't matter if it's all the same operation, which one you do first. All right, then identity is talking about what's the number I could add to something that doesn't change its identity. It gives me the same number back. So if I have 7 plus 0, see how that gives me back 7? So 0 is called the identity for addition. Then inverse is, what could I do to cancel something out? What could I do to get the identity as my answer? So to cancel something with addition, let's say I have 3, I would want to do negative 3. So the inverse for addition is make something positive or negative, the opposite sign. We'll look at distributive after. Alright, so those are all the ones for addition. And then notice all these same properties work for multiplication. One little difference about what makes something the identity versus the inverse. But it's still the same idea. For multiplication, I can change the order. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6. For multiplication, I can change the order in which I multiply these. If I do these 2 first, this is 2 times 15, so 30. If I do this one first, this is 6 times 5, also 30. Alright, one thing that changes is, for multiplication, the identity, what can I multiply by that doesn't change the number? Well, 0 wouldn't work like it does for addition, because that makes it 0. 7 times 1, so 1 is referred to as the identity for multiplication. And then same thing, the inverse, what can I do to cancel something out with multiplication? Well, to cancel it out means that I get the identity as my answer. So what could I multiply by 3? Like 1/3, so the reciprocal is the identity for multiplication. Before looking, first you just say, is it addition or multiplication? And then look at what's going on. Distributive is the only one that mixes multiplication and addition. So let's say if 3 times 2 plus 3, they're saying is that's the same as multiplying 3 by everything inside the parentheses. And so notice if I did it in different order, this says 3 times 5, so 15. If I do it this way, this is 6 plus 9, so also 15. So distributive is that I multiply to both things in the parentheses if they're added.